أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. Say, He is Allah who is one, Allah the eternal refuge. He neither begets nor is born, nor is there to him any equivalent. صدق الله العظيم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. الحمد لله. الصلاة والسلام على رسوله النبي الكريم وعلى آله أصحابه أجمعين. أما بعد. Assalamu alaikum everyone for joining us today. Five Digital Institute for Islamic Finance welcomes you all. Those who are joining in will be starting in about 5 minutes from now. A brief introduction to Five. Five Digital Institute is creating to lead the way to a new age approach to the training and awareness of Islamic finance. Five is providing an end-to-end digital learning solution to Islamic banks, Islamic finance institutions by combining the knowledge of Islamic finance and technology and presenting it to the masses of the Ummah. Five offers to make Islamic banking and finance to the world as commercially viable solution by digitizing it and making it available to all. Today's webinar is nothing new, but completely new at the same time. The title of today's webinar is Creating an End-to-End Digital Zakat Platform. We have three esteemed panelists with us. We'll be presenting to you at different times and then followed by Q&A. We have Mufti Faraz Adam from UK, Mr. Imad Al-Fidli from Amsterdam, and Mr. Fahad from Canada. Before further ado, let me invite my first speaker, Mufti Faraz Adam. A well-known name when it comes to Islamic fintech, Mufti Faraz Adam is joining us from UK. We are honored to have him as Sharia advisor. Five, he is the advisor to a number of well-known global financial institutions and serve across the Islamic economy in Islamic banking, SME financing, Zakat, Waqf, and state planning. Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh. Welcome.
Alaikum. Just for everyone's benefit, I'll just share my screen. So hopefully everybody can see my screen. All right. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Wa salatu wa salamu ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajmeen. Amma ba'd. Respected brothers and sisters. So today's session is a very interesting session, and it really hits home for me because Zakat is something I've been, really focused on, and it's something which I guess everybody here feels passionately about. I mean, every Muslim feels passionately about the pillars of Islam, but Zakat being, in this day and age, specifically with COVID and, with a number of challenges globally, there's a lot of hope when we focus on Zakat and think about Zakat as a pillar of Islam, as an economic stimulus, as an empowerment of faith, as an empowerment for individuals, for communities. Zakat, fosters a number of and a number of forms of strength. And so Zakat is really something which we need to leverage and need to focus on as a means which Allah Himself has given to us as a means to uplift our community and the global, the world really. So in my presentation, I just want for the next 10-15 minutes or so talk about Zakat and emerging technologies which can potentially upscale, enhance, streamline, strengthen Zakat management, collection, and distribution. Right. So just to really start the session off with, what is Zakat? Right. Zakat has a number of definitions, a number of explanations, and they are all right. The way I describe Zakat generally, it's like, it's like 3-4 dimensions. Zakat is not like a 2D thing where it has only one kind of description. You can describe Zakat from so many different angles, and that's why I mean it's truly like, a 4D kind of element that we have, because from one angle, and we all know this, it's an annual payment of 2.5%. It's almost like a wealth tax, which is paid on your wealth. And I call it a faith tax in that sense because it's only paid by the faithful, right? But then it's a pillar of Islam. Zakat is a pillar of our faith. It's Allah has given us zakat as a strategy to deal with our problems, to make us get closer to Him. So zakat is not just about dealing with worldly problems, but it's dealing with worldly problems to help us recalibrate, realign, rethink, and refocus our energies, our attention back to Allah. So zakat is there to help those who are struggling, to uplift them, to then let them have their worldly needs fulfilled so they can get on course again and worry about their eternal destination. It's there to help those who are in debt, who are struggling in debt, to save them from drowning in debt, uplift them, save them, and to get them back on their journey. It's there to, a number of causes. So zakah is really powerful from a faith empowerment perspective. Zakat is an annual stimulus for the economy. I mean, according to some reports, like the World Bank and others, they say up to $1 trillion worth of zakat, right? Globally, if not more. And these are like there's so many statistics and data or numbers out there with regards to the global potential of zakat. That just tells us if zakat was paid correctly, calculated correctly, distributed correctly, how much change we can have, you know, in the short term, but then in the long term as well. So zakah is an extremely powerful, untapped tool and a huge stimulus for not only your national economy, but the global economy. The global economy can benefit from zakat immensely. And then, of course, we have waqf, we have sadaqah, we have all these different channels to, aggregate the impact of Islamic giving. And I also, written up here at the end, it is startup capital. Zakat is startup capital because think about it. When we're giving zakat to the poor, the needy, Imam Shafi'i rahimahullah and other scholars, they talk about how you can, empower for them then to become independent, to empower them with, income generating assets. So if I was to empower a poor person or needy person with a taxi, for example, or I was the means for him to get an Uber license, then I've taught him how to fish. I've not only given him a fish, but I've taught him how to fish. And now, inshallah, he'll be earning, he'll have his dignity, he'll be independent, he'll be transformed. He'll become a payer himself. So zakah is a very, very powerful tool. It's almost like a bridge financing form where you're bridging this gap that this person has. From going to zakat, I really just want to touch about blockchain, right? There's a lot of hype about blockchain and the benefits of blockchain. Is it really beneficial for zakat? That's the question. Just from my own personal thoughts and readings on this and discussions with a number of colleagues, blockchain is not always beneficial. Blockchain is beneficial when there's a number of parties involved, when there's a lack of trust amongst the members and the parties. But blockchain is not always beneficial. I mean, blockchain, there's a number of risks which we'll look at right now. So yes, blockchain it's good as a technology. As you can see, it's just a ledger. Blockchain is purely a digital ledger which records information. You can have a private blockchain, meaning you can have a database within your own organization to record the data of what's happening. But as a system for zakat, yes, there's potential when it's worldwide, but then we have to also think about the ramifications because you'll be using tokens to transfer assets. You'll need a system and an ecosystem supporting blockchain. So there's a number of elements we have to think about when considering zakat and blockchain as the next phase of zakat, which is, I think, inevitable sooner or later. When efficiency, then blockchain will definitely be incorporated, but not yet. Why? Because blockchain being a ledger, there's still a number of risks involved. At present, I think the charities and organizations who are managing zakat or sovereign funds are doing very well with their legacy-based systems. Right? So there's no need to really engage with blockchain until you can have like you could say an R&D unit in your organization if you have the funds for that, to really explore and experiment with blockchain. But as you know, changing your legacy-based systems to a blockchain-based system is a huge gap there, which needs to be bridged. So what are some of the risks? Technology risk. This is just in its infancy right now. We don't know, what can go wrong, how to deal with it. So there's definitely some form of technology risk there. We don't have full visibility on, emerging technology behind blockchain. I mean, things are still progressing. Regulatory risk. How will, for example, in the UK, we have GDPR elements and other factors, right, in terms of regulations. How do we uh, merge or understand the regulatory risks when blockchain is applied? Are we exposing ourselves to something? Are we missing out on something? If it's charities commission in the UK, how will they see this? When we're audited, how will that look on an audit? So questions which are asked by every organization, and that's why there's still low adoption in blockchain. Management risk is another key one. I mean, blockchain requires significant human resources because it needs people who are expertise and skilled in this area, who understand the technology and end to end. So managing who will be able to deal with the problems. I mean, and the cost of getting an individual expert in this area will be extremely high because it's such a niche area. Then fourthly, code and cryptography risk. As we know, on blockchain, it's all cryptographic. What if something goes wrong? What if a payment was made mistakenly? Then it's very difficult to reverse that payment. It's very difficult to cancel that payment. It's almost impossible nowadays with blockchain. So that brings another whole element and a dimension. Whereas when you're using legacy-based systems, you can do a callback, you can cancel, your bank can do something. Governance risk. A blockchain, if it's there's different types of blockchains. You have the permissioned, you have permissionless, you have the public, and that. Depending on the type of blockchain that is used, there'll definitely be some form of governance risk, because if more than one party is governing the blockchain, that will definitely bring another element to it. It will impact the stability and pose a wider question on future governance. So these are some of the risks that blockchain presents. As you know, that's why I'm not really such a strong proponent as of yet. It definitely has potential, but I think in Europe, in America, the systems that we have, alhamdulillah, I feel are sufficient and good enough at present to really deal with zakat. I mean, just as some examples, where the National Zakat Foundation, for example, in the UK, they're not using blockchain, but something I could say that they definitely using what I call soft artificial intelligence. So those of you who are not aware of National Zakat Foundation in the UK, they have an algorithms-based calculator, one of the, alhamdulillah, I could say one of the best in the world. It's really good. I've compared a number of calculators. There's many of them, but it's definitely tops, in the top 5, 10. Automated application screening. When an application is made for zakat, it's all using APIs, right? And it's using algorithms to understand the application itself. So we're now leveraging emerging technology and soft artificial intelligence to understand how to use zakat, how to screen an individual whether they are zakat eligible. Zakat tracker. This is something which came about end of last year at National Zakat Foundation, where with technology and accounting principles together, at National Zakat Foundation, they can tell you when your zakat is distributed and to whom it's distributed and when it's distributed, right? So this is another huge leap when it comes to transparency, reporting, social impact in terms of zakat. Another thing is online giving, streamlining and smoothing the process of online giving. Yes, not a fintech based product, that, but nevertheless, given the importance of user experience and user interface and the current trend in the way websites and platforms are being presented, these kinds of additions and simplifications really help the whole zakat giving experience. And then finally, another tool that was created is the Zakat checker, where you can engage with a bot and understand whether you have missed zakat, you have outstanding zakat. So I feel in the zakat space, there's many forms of technology. It's not only about blockchain. I feel soft artificial intelligence is the way forward. It's already being leveraged by organizations. And I really think that would enhance the overall zakat giving experience, but at the same time, the zakat receiving experience as well. As you can see, like the only way you can scale, right, with the problems that we have to scale fast, it's really leveraging such technologies. So with that, I bring my presentation to an end. Jazakallah khair.
Thank you very much, Faraz, for enlightening us and telling us about zakat and the Jaisun zakat and how blockchain is involved in this too. I'm sure people are benefiting with your insights. The next speaker I have is Mr. Imad Al-Fidili. He is currently the CEO of National Zakat Foundation in the Netherlands. He's a strong proponent of integrating zakat institutions into the mainstream social welfare system and innovates in that field. The next voice you're going to hear is from Mr. Imad Al-Fidili. Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. You can hear me, right?
I can hear you. Thank you very much for joining us today and giving some time and sharing your insights.
Barakallahu fiqh. Give me 1 second. I will just share my screen. I guess everybody see my screen. Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wa salatu salam ala rasulullah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It's truly an honor to be amongst you, and I hope to learn a lot from the participants in the Q&A part, inshallah. My name is Imad Al-Fidili from National Zakat Foundation in the Netherlands, National Zakat Funds. So there you go, you have your first 3 Dutch words, alhamdulillah. So the goal of my presentation is actually to focus on the distributional side. How can we make impact in the distribution by leveraging on digitization and on digital trends and technology developments? And we will do this journey, inshallah, together. And why? Why did I took this perspective? You know, the role of a zakat institution is not to be merely an intermediary between the so-called payer and so-called receiver of zakat. It's truly established to fulfill the goals of zakat, for us, just had discussed, but also to truly change societies accordingly. And we tend to reduce zakat to a charitable act, while it's not. It's a faith tax. It's a wealth tax. So it's not a charitable act of a zakat payer. And institutions also tend to please the payer and the good feeling, while we are here for the community. Zakat is not a charity, it's a wealth tax, and your good feeling as a zakat payer shouldn't really play a big role. It's really the development of the community that should play a big role. So I know I'm here in the minority. We are the Anglo-Saxon countries, they have this donor centricity. As you can hear, I'm more from the other part, the community centricity, prioritizing the zakat receiver over the zakat payer. And this really, once you do this, this will lead to a mind shift change. This will lead to innovation in that field, innovation from the perspective of distribution. And please allow me to take you, inshallah, on a journey for the next 10 minutes, because your 2.5% is someone else 100% if we do it in an impactful way. Alhamdulillah, within the National Zakat Foundation, within different entities across the world, we've gained a lot of experience, but there is a lot of room for innovation and for improvement, inshallah, for the future. So our journey together, just the goals of zakat quickly. What is the role of a National Zakat Foundation? What are we actually doing? And then emphasizing and zooming in on the distributional side. My goal for today is for you to just remember 2 things: the Zakat Multiplier model and the Zakat Connects Us model. And even if you only remember these two sentences, it's enough for me. I've achieved my goal, بإذن الله. So like the goals of Zakat, I think Mufti Faraz just emphasized on it. So we believe that it's a 3 stages rocket. So the first step is, according to us, poverty alleviation. Once poverty has been fought at an individual level, it's important to ensure that the Muslim community becomes stronger and more resilient. And for that reason, the second goal is to focus on empowerment and to truly assist the individual in every possible way to promote self-reliance and the phase of self-actualization in the pyramid of Maslow. We should get people on their potential in order to be strong as a Muslim community. We should get people on their potential. Muslims have a lot of potential, and we should allow them to get on this potential. And we can do this through zakat as a means. And in addition, we are aware that a community, a nation, a country, or even the Muslim world will not really thrive or become strong and more resilient if individuals do not interact. The third goal is to bring individuals together and thereby to develop the community in a way that's deemed necessary. So these are, according to us, the main goals of zakat. This 3 stages rocket. So what are then the activities of NZF? In a zakat institution, what are they supposed to do? So the first thing is education. It's key in order to enlighten Muslims with the third pillar. And by using technology, what we are already doing, but we can do it more and more and more, we can do this in a more effective way and customize to different target groups. Like we at NZF, National Zakat Funds, National Zakat Foundation in the Netherlands, we are experimenting right now with the child and the youth to come up with a module and to allow them. Everybody is nowadays on TikTok, Instagram. Probably we can do something on top of that and leverage on that. Probably we can come up with a great module for children, because everybody, when they are a child, they are learning about consuming, investing, and saving. But where is the sharing part? This is a unique value proposition that we have in Islam, a unique value proposition that we can propagate in Muslim majority countries and Muslim minority countries, and we can pack this in an educational module, which we are experimenting with. The second thing is calculation. So what we say at NZF is we should relieve you. We relieve you in your zakat calculation. We are your zakat consultant. Everybody really cares about his tax payments and is willing to pay for his tax consultant. We are saying we are your zakat consultant. You should take zakat as serious or more serious than your tax payment. And we are there for you to relieve you. The third part, and I think Brother Fahad will focus on this more and more and more with regards to in which way we can leverage with regards to collection. To whom do I give my money? A zakat institution should be your reliable partner, where you can give your money with confidence. It should be entirely professional and reliable. And there are a lot of, like even with National Zakat Foundation UK, you've seen in the way how they have done it in the presentation of Mufti Faraz. And then the last part, and I will go to the 2 examples, is the distribution part. That's my main focus for today. You and your zakat institution should treat zakat as an entrepreneur. What do I mean with that? What I mean with that is you should generate as much impact as you can. And don't only relieve someone from poverty, but empower a person, the family, and make them self-sufficient. And here you see, you don't only need money, but you also need partners to get a multiplier effect. Look, subhanAllah, how great this pillar is. It truly connects us. We are connected to impact together people's lives. And we need each other. We cannot do it on our own. A zakat institution cannot do it on their own. Okay, so please tell me more. Like, give me a specific model and give me some practical examples. So this is one of them, the Zakat Multiplier model. And let me just make some caveats. You know, technology should always be a means in itself and not another goal in itself. And like I told you, we should be an entrepreneur. So we should maximize impact with maximize the impact of zakat in all aspects. The spiritual way for yourself, purify yourself, but also a spiritual way for the receiver, a psychosocial way, and a financial way. We should truly empower them in a financial way. And in this model again, the zakat receiver is central and not the zakat payer, because this is truly the empowerment, the community centricity. How do we get them to step 2, to step 3. So what is happening over here? You have the Zakat institution. The Zakat institution often, always gets Muslims in the UK, in France, in Pakistan, in Bangladesh, in Malaysia, in South Africa, and they knock on the door. And they share their stories, their dire situations. So let me just get you along with me. This is a lady who just divorced, and she has 2 children, and she was solely relying on the income of her husband. And she was in an abusive marriage, in a mentally and physically abusive marriage. So they divorced, and she knocks on the door. And the first question is, I need money. And that's actually what most of the Zakat institutions have, money. But what we can do, because we live in our society, where we have healthcare institutions, educational institutions, employers, governmental institutions, all of them, they are at the same highway, but they don't really cooperate with each other. What we can do is create our own Zakat ecosystem. And we've already started with that in the Netherlands, and UK is already more proficient with regards to that. What we do is a caseworker calls and extracts 3 questions. So this lady, she's mentally abused, physically abused. She needs a psychiatrist. She needs healthcare. The second thing is, this lady, she is such a smart lady, like all of the ladies, alhamdulillah. And she got an educational degree, but she hasn't worked for so long. So she needs a re-education program. And the third thing, once she has a degree, a re-educational diploma, she needs to have an employer. So what we do at National Zakat Foundation is to we create a platform and send them directly to the psychologist, and they get their assistance over there, which is covered by the government in most of the countries. And afterwards, she goes to the educational institution to get her re-educational degree, and we pay directly for that. And on the same platform, we engage them with a job coach to assist them with a resume and to get an employer. And we can do this more and more and more, really to put this on one platform where there is an exchange of information, where people can engage with each other, interact. The employer can see this lady is at an educational institution. She comes from National Zakat Foundation, and in 3 months, she will have her degree. So in 3 months, I can hire her, inshallah. So what we try to do with this Zakat ecosystem is not just create an ecosystem for the purpose of creating an ecosystem. No, we need privileges for the underprivileged Muslims. The second way, and then I will end, is the Zakat Connects Us model. Zakat connects us always, because you as a payer, you need a receiver in order to accept your Zakat, and you should be humbled for that. But at the same time, what we often don't imagine is the Zakat payer is not solely, the value is not solely represented in the money that we get, in the funds that are paid. No, there is much, much more. Because when paying Zakat, actually we have a pool of millions of unique Muslims with unique skills, which they are blessed with to add value. I just emphasize on that. They are blessed with the skills that they got from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to add value with. And these unique skills can be mobilized in such a way that they can empower a Zakat receiver. And everybody says, I truly want to do a lot. I want to assist and help my people. I want to empower the Muslim community. Please give me give me a platform where I can do that, because I am much more than money. And we can do this as a Zakat institution with the technological developments. Please allow me with one example, and then I will finalize bi'idhnillah. What we have, for example, in just a real case in the Netherlands, a refugee has often a negative connotation. So let's say a new South African, a new Dutchman, a new Briton, a new Frenchman, a new Pakistani, who comes over, who fled his country because of dire situations. He has unique skills, mashallah, or she has unique skills. He or she wants to start up a business in the plastic industry. But once you want to start up a business, of course, you need seed capital, but you need much more. You need a business coach. You need a marketeer. You need privacy experts. You need web developers. And by creating a market platform, once Zakat payers pay, they can also really show what their extra skills are that they want to dedicate for the entire Muslim community, we have a pool of a lot of free, unique skills of the Muslim community that we can leverage upon and bring our recipients and bring our underprivileged Muslims to the next phase, bi'idhnillah, and to really get them on their potential. So I will finalize, bi'idhnillah. Barakallahu fikum for listening. I'm really looking forward to all your questions. I will just finalize that we are the biggest philanthropists, and we should be aware of that. We should be proud of that. We have our gold mine, and we can make such an impact in the distribution if we do it in an efficient and smart way. Let's use more our rational than our emotional feelings with regards to this distribution. Barakallahu fikum, and I really look forward to your questions. Over to you, Ahsan.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And now I would like to have this gallery mode. And then I will, for Mr. Imad, thank you very much. It was a wonderful model by National Zakat Foundation. I'm really impressed, and I can see in the chat section, people have acknowledged it. Really, a lot of work being done from your side, from National Zakat Foundation. We have the next speaker, our COO, Fahad Siddiqui. Unfortunately, he is not available, and there's some emergency. May Allah make it easy for him. So I will continue the Q&A with both of our panelists, Mufti Faraz and so my first question would be for Mufti Faraz. First question here I have is benefits of digitizing or digitally managing zakat. Could you elaborate on this, Ashir?
No, sure. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. So, Brother Imad, mashallah, in his presentation, he explained how zakat, the impact of zakat, the effect of zakat can be multiplied. And just think about it, if we leverage technology, we're saving so much cost because every person that is in the supply chain of zakat is adding additional cost. So by removing people and making people focus where the focus should be, you know, the mundane tasks of checking forms, the mundane task of, ensuring documenting, these are things which can be automated. But human beings have a unique power, which is emotion. That's what the technology doesn't have that. So if we focus our energies, our spirit on supporting individuals with the emotional intelligence that Allah has given to us, then we can allow the artificial intelligence to focus on those things which they can, manage. So we're leveraging artificial intelligence in those areas which humans are not necessarily needed, and those tasks are repetitive, but they extremely important, without a shadow of a doubt, to ensure that a person is zakat eligible. But the technology can take care of that. But the human beings can focus then on providing the quality care, in providing the emotional intelligence. Because remember, many zakat recipients, when they come to the National Zakat Foundation, as an example, like we have 5 National Zakat Foundations across the world, and inshallah we'll be having another 3, 4 in the coming 2 years. We know from our experience of 10 years experience that people come with all types of problems. It's never as easy as, I need £100 or I need £500. No, there's a gap, a hole in their life which needs rebuilding. And so what we're saying is, if technology can, take care of those tasks which humans are not really needed for, as humans can then focus on where we can add most value, which is in the lives of people. Because remember, the prophets of Allah, they came to build humans, right? Their job was, and the subject matter was, building people, because it's people who are really the key factor of production, human beings. Everything else is secondary. Humans are the greatest factors of production. So really this allows us to develop, build people, build our fellow Muslim brothers and sisters. It's an honor for me to serve my Muslim brother or sister, or any human being out there. It's an honor. And that's how I believe technology should be leveraged to enhance our quality of giving and social impact.
Thank you very much. Another question, Chef, for I believe best for you to answer is how can fintech be leveraged for zakat?
Yeah, it's a good question. So look, when we talk about fintech, what do we mean? Fintech, and this is another subject altogether. But you know, fintech is not simply using technology or digitization. No, fintech refers to something else, and there's many forms of fintech. Fintech comes in waves. So the latest fintech, which is we could call fintech 4.0, refers to three axes being leveraged together. So, for example, we're talking about the axis of the financial sector, where the technology is applied in the financial sector. Number two, it's a unique business model. So it's P2P, it's crowdfunding, it's B2B, B2C, or B2B2C, right? These are all different models out there, business models. And thirdly, it's using uh, technology. So you're using AI, data analytics, and these types of technologies. So when we talk about fintech, it's not only about using internet. That was fintech in the 2000, in the first decade, or in the 1990s. Fintech in that time meant using the internet. Fintech in this era does not mean using the internet. Well, when we talk about fintech, we're talking about AI, artificial intelligence. We're talking about big data, data analytics. We're talking about these types of things. IoT, the Internet of Things. So, or blockchain. And when it comes to zakat and fintech, then we have to make zakat really be more of a P2P or a platform model. And that's where National Zakat Foundation is moving to. Like I said, alhamdulillah, all the National Zakat Foundations are slowly developing a platform-based giving, that's leveraging one axis of the fintech cube. Secondly, it's now leveraging artificial intelligence. That's the second axis. And the third is the financial sector, because zakah is also part of the financial sector, in a sense that it's a form of giving, right? It's a cash transfer. So that's where zakah would really fit when we talk about fintech.
Yeah, before I move into Mr. Iman, uh, our friend Farhan have asked a question, and it's about he wants to know what is blockchain. So I'll just quickly say that Brother Farhan, please follow Taif Digital Institute on our social media. Follow Mufti Faraz Adam. He's an expert, and you can go to our YouTube channel and see his classes or his webinars on blockchain. You will have a better understanding. So, Mr. Ahmad, I'm coming towards you. The question that I have is, how is National Zakat Foundation using emerging technologies to manage zakat? And with along that, I want to tag another question. Ibrahim Kazim have asked this question. There should be a specific app for payment of zakat contribution to be operated in a modern way. He's asking, are there many, or if you're available, please let us know. Please.
Barakallahu fiqh. Ahsan, thank you for your questions, and I really learn a lot from the questions from the audience, mashallah. It's a clever audience, so please challenge us. With regards to your first question, with regards to how do we leverage on technology nowadays? I mean, like what I said before, technology is really seen as a hype kind of thing. We should have it, but for what purpose? So what you see is in NZF UK is quite advanced with regards to this, and what they have been doing. So you've seen it, like the soft artificial intelligence with regards to screening of the applications. So it's just a bot that screens all the applications directly and which forwards it directly to the caseworkers that are specialists in that specific field. And another one that I think that's also directly tackling the second question is with regards to calculating the zakat. And we get is quite often we get these questions, and it's understandable. Like most of our fellow Muslims across the world, they face problems with regards to calculating their zakat. How should I do it? Because it's really a debt towards Allah. So, and I don't want to be indebted towards Allah. How can I do this in a perfect way? Please assist me. There is no such a thing as zakat consultant, but I have my tax consultant, so I'm sure that I am up to date with regards to my tax payments. Please assist me with regards to my zakat. So what we've been doing is, and Mufti Faraz just has covered this, is creating a zakat calculator which covers like 90% of the situations for the particular normal individual. And these in this calculator, you can just calculate your zakat and directly you can pay your zakat. But besides that, there will be always examples that cannot be fit within a zakat calculator. So we provide right now zakat consultations. So we tell you, we are your zakat consultant. Just reach out, and we will assist you, inshallah, if you're a big entrepreneur, etc., etc., etc. And let me share with you my last dream, bi'idhnillah. Um, then I'm focusing on the Muslim minority countries because, alhamdulillah, our tech system is quite well developed over here. Our platforms are quite well developed. So there is like a text environment where you can go and you can see directly how much you have on your savings account, how much you have on your current account, how much shares you have on the exchange, etc., etc., etc. My wish and my dream for all these zakat institutions across the entire world is that we can get a partnership with our governments, which means that whenever someone comes to us and say, at the government with regards to your loan, with regards to your savings, with regards to the amount of shares that you have at the exchange, they will be directly exchanged with us, and we can get them directly within the zakat calculation, which makes it easier for you and makes it more complete for you. Alhamdulillah, inshallah, we will also relieve you then from this burden, bi'idhnillah, of doing it good or not. So this is truly a dream, and I think we still need to develop, inshallah, as zakat institutions in order to reach this. But let's be ambitious, bi'idhnillah, because that will be really the for me the culmination point with regards to zakat calculations. Maybe Mufti Faraz can add something with regards to this point with regards to his experience in the UK.
No, absolutely. I agree with you. And this is something I think all National Zakat Foundations are doing to really allow Muslims to be more inclusive and engaged. And if we can, as a community, partner with governmental institutions, we can really enhance not only the zakat giving and calculation experience, but really give Islam and Muslims, a larger picture in the arena, and for them to have a seat on the table, because that allows us then to show the values that we have and explain the power of zakat better.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you very much. And our guest, the speaker, Fahad Siddiqui, have also joined us, and I think he will be adding into Q&A, inshallah. So, Sheikh, as you can see, there are questions lined up. There are a few questions that I believe should be taken, but some are very wide. Let's say somebody have asked about how the zakat calculation goes on the following: farm products and leasing property, property served as source of income, like commercial buses. Um, and then for Mufti Farah, especially, there's a question: uh, uh, how NZF is harnessing tech and AI, and how can other charities learn about this?
I mean, with regards to that, I think it's really just good to further our collaboration. The more we work together, it's NZF will have something, other organizations will have something else. It's really about building blocks together. Everybody has something good, right? Goodness is shared amongst everybody. I truly believe that. So the more we come together, the more we learn from one another, I think we can enhance and scale our operations faster.
Yeah. His brother Ashraful Khalq is asking, he is asking for quantitative data multiplier, just like facial multiplier, governor multiplier, and I think Mr. Faraz can, or whether Himat can refer to them if there is data available, because these are research people and they keep on digging, strive for research data.
Yeah, mashallah, mashallah. Such a great question, and I hoped someone would ask this. With regards to data, with regards to the Netherlands, I'm not aware of any data, but please engage with me directly by email, and we can come up and draft some data, inshallah. Because if there is no data, we can create it by ourselves by doing research, bismillah. And if I just with regards to the multiplier effect, I mean, we should understand we are citizens of our countries. We are anyways paying taxes. And with these taxes, we pay the healthcare, the educational institutions, we pay the debt service of people, etc., etc., etc. By really having these informational exchange between zakat institutions and the social welfare institutions that are already there, we are more in the preventive phase. So we are in an early stage, we're already assisting Muslims before they are getting depressed, before they are getting into debt service, before they are getting into criminal activities in order to get their money because they don't have any money. So we have done in the Netherlands, we've done some research with regards to the cases that we have done. So you saw, alhamdulillah, I've already told you, we have a gold mine, alhamdulillah. Allah blessed us with a gold mine with such an impact, because zakat is often cash, right? And what we have seen with regards to providing cash is king. We were able to avoid, for example, that people were evicted from their houses. You know, eviction from a house costs often between 6 and 10k euros per eviction, and just by paying off the just by paying off the rent arrear of 1,000, we were able to reduce the cost with 9k for us as taxpayers, because we Muslims are part of the society. So with regards to that, we got some data. Alhamdulillah, you see that national zakat foundations, they are very impactful with regards to their rapidness and in reacting with regards to situations. With regards to the other part, by investing in education, by investing in psychological health, etc., we don't have any data, but I'm more than willing to engage with it. But like I told you, we have millions of unique Muslims with unique capacities and unique skills. Please engage with me, and we can make something out of it.
Thank you very much. So I would ask Fahad to come in, and let me just quickly introduce Fahad. Fahad is CEO at 5 Digital Institute for Islamic Finance, a seasoned Islamic banker and cloud computing-based software development specialist. Fahad has over 17 years of Islamic banking experience. Fahad also leads various financial technology initiatives in North America and APAC for branch transformation and organization. Welcome, Fahad.
Assalamu alaikum everyone, and Sheikh and brother Imad and participant. They could not join. There was a problem in, I think, the clocks. So Jazakallah everyone, and I just wanted to put some light on with regards to courses. Inshallah, with the Sheikh's guidance and direction, we will be launching out Sharia standard courses on Taif. And then we are really keen, and we are looking forward to set up a few courses to start with, inshallah, with regards to uh, zakat standard. And this is something coming up. We really aspire to organize this in terms of the financial side of zakat. For example, my experience in banking, we were lacking on the accounting standard when it comes to managing zakat, especially at the bank level when there is any fee we charge with regards to overpayment, for example, it goes to a significant account. So we had some sort of accounting there to manage those funds, right? So we really aspire to see if we can, request banks to open account, which are, all those NPO, NGOs account, and those accounting standards can be also, and there's a proper Sharia governance on it. And inshallah, we look forward, we look up to share, inshallah, and his guidance and leadership to help us set.
Sheikh, there is one question. Muhammad Farhan again asking, can zakat be used to build educational institutions where there is a need for it?
So zakat must be given to an individual person or be used for the person directly. So building buildings with zakat generally the view of many scholars is that it can't be done unless there is another mechanism in place where the person himself, you know, gives consent for his zakat to be used in a particular way. So it just depends the way it's structured. But generally, I can't just go and build a building with zakat, right? Certain scholars in the Middle East have permitted the use of zakat for buildings when that building is solely for the benefit of the fuqara and is gifted to them as well in the end. So there are ways, but it's not a straightforward matter. I would always say in these matters, consult your local ulama and scholars because there is a difference of opinion across the world in this practice. You know, in some countries, the ulama might have a different view. In other countries, ulama might have a different view. That's not a problem. Absolutely fine. But we should always work with our local scholars and take their knowledge and guidance.
Thank you. There is a comment, and plus I will tag it with a question for Brother Imad. Uh, Asma Ahmed says that interesting partnership with government. This would this for Brother Imad. This would data be shared in both directions. Some people may hide wealth for tax, but include for zakat. And at the same time, I will tag this question by Bismarck. Can you explain the collection of zakat institutions? Like, I believe I would pose it in this way, that how is the way your way work in the collection of zakat?
Yeah, Barakallahu Fik, Brother Ahsan. Barakallahu Fik for you for passing this question towards me. But in all honesty, I would pass this question to my senior banker, Mr. Fahad, who might know much more about hiding wealth for tax purposes, and Mufti Faraz, inshallah.
Yeah, with Sheikh Izada and Salah and Brother Imad your Ijada. Yeah, we have seen it firsthand. Naturally, there is, there is some issues here when it comes to different collection. Uh, but if we suppose to have a digital platform and then we have it, we have a public trust, then we can extend this and we can integrate it with maybe using OpenPay, API, whatever. And then if we have, I have some plan which the presentation I will share with everyone over the email. Uh, if we have some sort of rating on all those NPOs and there is a proper Sharia board kind of doing audit and we make it public, then I guess that trust will, trust will prevail. And using technologies such as blockchain, if we could, all that technical also we can provide them. So I think it's more about trust than anything. Once the trust culture is solved, then we will be seeing a lot of institutions using it, and then people opening account and they will no problem debiting their zakat. They will have no problem, yeah, declaring their taxes. I think it's all about it's not more on the west side. It's more on these area where things are still unstructured when it comes to banking system. I think it's about Zakat, it's about the from the government side also. People are not able, they don't trust government, and they are not able, they don't use to government. They just use their private sources and whatever, and then they funnel uh, the
Hello.
yeah. And we
Oh, all right, all right, all right. So thank you very much, Fahad. Sheikh, you are seeing a lot of questions coming for you as well.
there is one question, Brother Hassan, if you can allow me. I see it
Please,
on the
please,
chat.
please, please.
Sheikh, the question is, and Brother Umar, this question is that do you collect and manage Sadaqah as a separate asset of your Zakah Foundation? Whether non-Muslim are also beneficiaries of Zakah? That part?
Sorry, I didn't catch that. Was it do we collect sadaqah?
Yes.
And yeah, so National Zakat Foundation sadaqah is taken as well as kafara, riba, purification funds. And yes, if a non-Muslim does, ever come, then there is a policy in place whereby other funds besides zakat can be used, given the case by case. It's not on all instances, but depending on the merit of the case, and yes, other funds can be potentially used. Imad, have you experienced anything in the Netherlands on this in this regard?
Yeah, Barakallah, fik, great question. I mean, we hold the same principle as Mufti Faraz Adam just shared. But what I was just experiencing, like we Muslims, the biggest philanthropists. I mean, I can repeat this like tens of thousands of times, and we have unique skills, mashallah. So by creating this Zakat Multiplier model or the Zakat Connects Us model, we have a pool. We have a pool of Muslims who are willing to assist with different kind of things, because most of the people who come to us, and even sometimes non-Muslims, they have questions with regards to job coaching. Help me to get a job. They don't want to have money. They want to have a job. And in order to get a job, they need someone who assists them with a resume, for example. This doesn't necessarily need zakat. So what we can do from da'wah purposes, what we can do to really show the beauty of Islam is to engage them with another Muslim who assists them, who will be their buddy. And if there is still like money needed or a food voucher needed for the intermittent period, we can provide them with our sadaqah.
Thank you.
Yeah. And this reminds me of my 5 years in Sudan. We had this um microfinance projects there, right, under IDB. And as rightly brother understand that a lot of people come, and then we thought that they will be asking money and they will not be returning, but people really ask for us. So if we are able to set up those schools, small units who are able to upskill them, that also becomes like a sort of revenue opportunity for the organization, as well it helps the community. And then we can use those funds to actually um, maybe set up some platform where other participants are able to fund that platform, and they are able to fund that microfinance project as well. So this is again, uh, if we are able to use uh, that fund for such projects, that can also help. So it's like Zaka is helping them to fund the school, for example. We are upskilling, and then when they are out with that skill in the market, there is some platform, all finances, which is helping them to set up small microfinance business.
Yeah. Fahad, you want to take more questions? There's so many questions, but we are reaching up the time limit now.
It's like I'm not sure. Say, what is your direction here, Inshallah?
Inshallah, we'll finish on time as promised to everyone.
Okay.
Sure.
So let's finish, Inshallah, and then we can hold. I can hold back for another 30 minutes. We'll be taking questions, Inshallah. And brother Imad, if you are available, feel free uh, to continue. If not, then I'll take the questions, and then if there's any question related to you, we will send it over to you, and then you can answer, and we can put those in
Thank
the social
Yeah,
media.
yeah, Barakallahu fik. I would propose the second thing. So thank you all to all the participants. It's a pleasure to have presented to you and to have learned from you. I mean, the questions are quite helpful. If anyone has any additional questions, please just reach out by sending me an email. I will share my email, inshallah, in the comments, and I look forward in order to make us more impactful as philanthropists. Like we are the new Bill Gates, alhamdulillah. We are the Bill Gates of the world, alhamdulillah. Barakallahu fikum.
Chef, before ending, if you would you like to make a small dua for the Ummah and for the people who are seeking for knowledge in Islamic finance, connecting with five?
I'm sure may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless everybody here, accept us all. May Allah accept everybody's intentions. There's so many good people here on this forum, and who joined Taif in amongst the various programs and webinars Taif has been doing. So may Allah accept everybody's efforts, and never think of anything so small. Every little counts, right? Never think of. That's why, and there's an Arabic poem which says, "Don't think of a pebble to be small, because a mountain is always made up of pebbles," right? And this is a reality. Every one of us here has a lot of potential, as Brother Iman has been saying over and over again. And it's true. We should believe that whatever Allah has given to you as an individual, there's a place for it in the world. Right? What you have, there's a place for it in the world. Let us ask Allah for sincerity, strength, power, and utilize our whatever skills Allah has given us to benefit mankind. That's the greatest thing you can take away with you when you leave this world, inshallah.
Ameen, summa ameen. Thank you very much, Sheikh,
Jazakallah
for
khair.
coming, giving us your precious time. Thank you very much, Mr. Ahmad, for coming from Amsterdam, joining us to virtual discussion, and being with us.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Ms. Fahad,
So I really thanks everyone to join. So if there's
Fahad,
any question,
yeah, there are many questions are still lined up. There are people here at the attendees. Anybody wants to raise hand, you can open mic as well. Fahad, you want to take Q&A questions?
yeah, yeah, why not? Why not? I'll
Fahad, your
not be.
voice is a little bit breaking. People are saying, can you speak a little bit louder?
All right, give me a second. Let me try to change it. I'll put a headset on that.
MashaAllah, the list of questions, and then this was an amazing webinar, and people joined in, and it was very surprising. We have Mr. Imad's email address as well. People want to contact him. Yes, Fahad.
Give me a second. I'm joining my. I'm trying to
We
connect.
have a raise hand as well from Tijani Muhammad, right? Inshallah. Opening the mic for you.
Okay, so is it better now?
Yeah, it's better now.
Okay, go ahead.
Assalamu alaikum, Mr. Muhammad.
Assalamualaikum, brother Tijani.
Right. Okay, but I think there are Q&A. You can take the questions from there.
Sure. So I'm not sure which what questions are answered.
Uh,
Do you want me to start with the first one?
No, the first one, yes. Blockchain, no. The first one is basically this question was not answered. Rahim Kazim asked this question that how does zakat calculation goes on the following: farm produce, leasing property, the property serve a source of income like commercial basis.
Yeah. So there are set formulas, inshallah. What we will do is that we will request it to maybe help us do sheet or something, and we will be sending those formulas and then naturally keep in mind that for every geography there's some difference, some minor uh, compliance requirement there. So we can send you a generic sheet and then you can take it as a baseline and inshallah do it. We also have now brother Imad's email address sent to everyone, so they can also email him directly.
All right. Okay. But this question is there to countries where zakat collected can only afford to help a quarter of the poor and needy. How can this issue be solved? Also, you find that the people do not want to pay zakatul mal. How can we help the needy and the poor?
So the first half of the question is pretty straightforward. Naturally, every country is unique in terms of their for example, if you take G7 country, naturally they will not be a problem. But mostly, countries where we see uh, the Zakah pool is not be structured in a way which has direct impact on the social economy. Uh, what we can do is our suggestion is that why not we combine Zakah fund with the microfinance side of it. While Zakah, as I mentioned, while we to upskill people, the microfinance fund can really help them to set up small micro business as well. That's one of the solutions we could put. Inshallah, we something once we are doing course, we will explore it in more detail, and then
Hmm.
we will also try to mobilize this.
Inshallah, inshallah. There is another question: how can you ensure transparency in zakat collection and distribution? And this may have arise to you since your experience in banking is quite vast.
Yeah. So it is all about automation. What we need to do is that we need to try to decentralize things, and this is where the presentation was there, but we will inshallah send it over. And we can use technology like blockchain, and then we can do is that the entire ecosystem is transparent and it's public. All the transactions are, for example, being tracked. The person who's giving zakah fund, for example, can set some goals for that NGO and pure organization to follow. For example, if it is the building in a school, Islamic school, for example, or a hospital, they can put fund and they can say that once the 20% construction is done, then you release the second amount of food, and then that could trigger the second, and then and at the end 100% money is mobilized from that platform to the contractor who's building that school, as well as the zakat donor is able to see live that what is happening with fund up to this level of detail of what supplier what material supplier uh, put on the site, for example, and how much is consumed and what is the inventory status. So that if we automate everything, the culture will build, transparency will prevail, and then we will see people motivating to use the platform instead of their own private mechanisms or whatever they have.
Thank you. Uh, how can Zakat Multiplier be a solution to microeconomics problems?
Say it again, please.
I think they are mixing it with Zakat Multiplier be a solution to microeconomics problems. Microeconomics?
Yeah. So yeah, it's like it's the ensuring that funds are utilized for the pain points of the geography itself. So giving an example, if we see a country where there are farmers, a very plain example, then we should put some funds of zakah pool just to maybe support that farmer group who are producing crops, and then that crops has direct impact on the economy, on the GDP of the country. So it's all about ensuring that we understand their issues, problems, and then we are able to clearly segregate where the Zakah fund will go, and this is where the Sharia side of it also uh, help the entire ecosystem. That uh, when you are mobilizing fund, how they are being mobilized, are they following the proper accounting rules, they traceable or not, and are we investing in the right direction? So it's about the entire consortium or the stakeholder of the platform, for example, if it is a digital, they are able to scrutinize and then they are able to drive that uh, source of fund based on the pain points. For example, if it is pandemic happening, and we know that there are some families struggling to meet and needs, then this year we will say that okay, as a management committee of the platform, Sharia ruling is along with the Sharia ruling to divert the fund. This NGO, NPO, or we give it to directly to the individual, and then once that's done, then we are trying to solve that problem. So it's all about about organizing, and that's discipline, and that's all.
One last question I will take part. Maruf Hussain is asking, is there any concrete example where digital technology has been successfully implemented in tracking and managing zakat? Any information and link would be useful.
That's a good question. I was trying to research something, but I could not find it on the internet. I'm not sure whether Brother Imad was able to cover this point. If not, then we will search. And then this is something we aspire at TIFE also, that why not we sort of when we are launching courses, why not we create some sort of student group and try to pilot something, inshallah. We will.
Inshallah. Inshallah. You want to say something about launching of Taif? Taif will be launching soon. People are
Yeah.
very keen, and I've been receiving a lot of messages and emails. So maybe people here can have a quick know for in advance.
So, no, inshallah, date will be announced on social media very soon. I know people are very patient, waiting for us. But good news that we are almost there. Maybe few days, and inshallah, we will be announcing the launch and the courses we are going to be offering. Pray for
Inshallah.
us.
Thank you very much for all the attendees been asking questions, for being with us, for joining this session. And we would, inshallah, continue the conversation over social media. Please post your questions to our email. We will answer them accordingly. Thank you very much, Fahad, for joining us. And let me say goodbye to everyone. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.